What's up, guys? Well, welcome to today's live training. Today is talking about the 9 must-have elements in a body transformation program. So these 9 things are must-haves if you want to have a bulletproof body transformation program. Now, if you're trying to lose fat and you're trying to transform that way, this will apply. If you are trying to make a body transformation in regards to building muscle, these will apply. If you are trying to do what's called recomp, where you're not necessarily trying to lose a lot of fat or a lot of weight or anything, but you're just trying to change your composition. So you're trying to lower your body fat and increase your muscle mass, but stay about the same weight, recomp. Okay, this is going to apply. Okay, so let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So last week we talked about the 5 biggest mistakes that you're making with your fat loss program that you don't even know you're making. Okay, so hopefully a lot of you guys watch that, and I can guarantee that you related with at least one of those 5 mistakes that I talked about. Okay. And if you're making those 5 mistakes, that one mistake that you're making could be all the difference in the world when it comes to you getting the transformation that you want. Okay. So last week we addressed the 5 mistakes. Okay. Now we're going to address the 9 things, the 9 must-have elements in a body transformation program. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay. So here we go. So we all know this. Okay. We all know that we need 1 and 2. We're going to be real simple. Okay. Number 1, we all know we need the right workout plan. Number 2, we all know we need the right nutrition plan. Okay. So those are 2 elements that we already know that we need. Now, most people, they stop there. Most people think, hey man, all I need is a nutrition plan and a workout plan, and I have that. I'm going to see the transformation that I want. And the truth is, it's not true. Okay. There's 7 other elements that are must-haves in a body transformation program. Okay. So let's just get those out of the way. Workout plan, nutrition plan. We already know that. We don't have to go into details about that. Okay. So number 3, the third thing that you must have in a body transformation program is a habit plan. Okay. Too many times people just say, okay, look, I'm going to follow a nutrition plan and I'm going to go from eating, whatever I want every single day to eating perfectly exactly the way it's listed on the plan. And I'm going to do that. Okay. And so every single day they're going, they're trying to eat perfect. They're trying to eat perfect. They're trying to eat perfect. And when they can't eat perfect, they just go back to eating the way that they were doing. And they just keep doing that over and over and over again. And their only habit in a sense is, or they don't even have a habit plan. They're like, I've just focused on eating like this. Okay. Now, that's most likely, most of the time, is not going to work. How many times have you actually tried that? How many times have you tried a plan and say, oh, I'm going to follow it, but then you can't do it? Okay. You must have a habit plan. Okay. Habits are really what equal results. In fact, all of my clients, okay, without habits, I'll tell you this, without the right habits, you will never get results. Okay. So what's really important is you understand which habits you need, which habits actually yield results. There's a lot of things out there. And this is not really the type to, argue these things, but there's things out there like, hey, look, I got to stop eating by 6 o'clock every day. That's a habit I need to do. I can't ever have cheat meals, or I can't ever go out to eat. Right. So those are just types of habits that are out there. So that when I say a habit plan, these are types of habits that you can have or not have. But the important thing is, which habits do you actually need to get the results? Which habits actually yield results time after time again? Okay. So that's super important. You must have a habit plan. If you don't have a habit plan, then you might accidentally get lucky and are able to execute your meal plan. But most people, they just can't go from, hey, this is where I am. This is what I should be doing. Let me go get it. Okay. There's very few people out there that if you actually give them something, they'll actually follow it. Most people need to establish habits. And almost all people that I have need to establish habits first, and then do those habits, and then eventually get to whatever they're trying to accomplish with their meal plan or their workout plan. So you have to have a habit plan. Okay. Now, the other thing that you have to have is a mindset plan. Okay. Now, You might be like, no, I don't need a habit plan. No, I don't need a mindset plan. That's fine. If you don't think you need it, you don't need it. But I'll tell you, every single one of my clients has a mindset plan, because I will probably argue that your mindset is probably the most important thing over your habits, over your nutrition plan, over your meal plan. If you have the right mindsets, you can go extremely far with your program with just having the right mindsets. Okay. Now, again, without the right mindsets, you won't really know how to bust through barriers. You won't know how to take yourself from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. Okay. You won't know, how to bust through a plateau. You won't know how to do that. And sometimes you have true limitations that you have to work around. And then sometimes you just have to learn to bust through barriers. So having the right mindset will allow you to determine what are some things that I truly have to work around, and then what are some things that I just have to bust through. So having the right mindset plan is extremely important, because as you know, at the very beginning, we all have, a lot of times we're very weak-minded, but as we go through the process, we need to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And so knowing in what elements, in what areas do we need to get stronger at, that will allow us to keep it going. So you must have a mindset plan. If you don't take care of that, then maybe you get results, maybe you don't. Maybe, like most people do, most people get to a certain point with their mindsets, or I should say most people get to a certain point with their program, and then they can't go any further than that. Why? Most likely it's something going on with their mindset. I will tell you that happens all the time. I have clients who come into me and they've been able to get themselves to a certain point, and when I sit down and talk to them, they have these improper mindsets. They have these things, right? So just some examples of mindsets that you can have are things like a mindset of no pain, no gain, or I got to hustle, I got to grind, no excuses, or I talked about this morning, I just got to accept myself. I got to love myself, right? So these are all different types of mindsets, right? So what type of mindsets do you actually need in order to get the results that you want? You must have that mindset plan, okay? Now, that's number 4, okay? The 5th element that you must have in your body transformation program is strategies. Okay. If you do not have the proper strategies on a mindset plan, a meal plan, a workout plan, or a nutrition plan, if you don't have the right strategies, you will get nowhere. Again, most people's strategy is, hey, give me a meal plan, I'm going to follow it. Most people say, give me a workout plan, I'm going to follow it. Okay. That's not how it works. Okay. We have ultimate place of where we want to eat. We have an ultimate place of where we want to work out. We have an ultimate place of where we want our habits to be. And then we have the ultimate place of where we want our mindsets to be. But a strategy is what's the first step that I have to take? If I'm at the beginning of my exercise journey, what's step 1? What's step 2? What's step 3? What's step 4? Right? Same thing with nutrition. If I'm at the beginning of my nutrition journey, what is step 1? Then what is step 2? Then what is step 3? What is step 4? You can't just go from step 1 to step 4 overnight. Okay. You have to go in steps. So you got to have the right strategy. So you have to have the right strategies on your nutrition plan, on your workout plan, on your habit plan, and on your mindset plan. And if you don't have the right strategies, you are going to end up doing what everybody else does. Hey, I'm going to be perfect. And then when I can't be perfect, I'm going to be way off. Hey, I'm going to be perfect. And when I can't be, I'm going to be way off. And all that leads to is inconsistencies. Probably the number one reason why people can't get results that call me on the phone is because they're not consistent. And the reason why they're not consistent is because they don't have the right strategies. They are continually just trying to be perfect, and then they can't be. Continuing trying to be perfect, and they can't be. Okay. So I'm going to stop right here for a second. So we've covered 5 so far. Okay. We've covered obviously the 9 must-have elements. We covered the first 5. We covered the workout plan, the nutrition plan, the habit plan, the mindset plan, and the proper strategies. Okay. What do you think you are struggling with? Are you struggling with any of these things? Is there anything here that you don't have in your current program right now? Okay. Of these have elements, do you have a strategy? Okay. Do you have a mindset plan? Do you have a habit plan? Okay. Obviously, the easiest things to get out there is a workout plan and nutrition plan. So I don't want to know that. But do you have a habit plan? Do you have a mindset plan? And do you have a strategy plan? Is it written down on paper, or is it just something that's in your head? Because if it's just something in your head, it's not a plan. It's not a plan until it gets written out on paper. Okay. We're going to move on. Okay. So we covered the first 5. Now let's go ahead and cover 6 through 9. Okay. So the sixth must-have element in a body transformation program is an accountability system. Okay. You must have some type of reliable and consistent accountability system. Now, this could be a coach. This could be a friend. This could be, maybe it's an app. Maybe it's some type of leaderboard. Maybe your accountability system is your Apple Watch and you're trying to close the rings, right? And that's your goal. But you somehow, some way need to have something or someone that is holding you accountable to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Now, truthfully, an accountability system should have a little bit of almost a reward system, a little bit of a pleasure, a attaboy kind of thing. It needs to have at least that, where it's motivating and encouraging, right? But it also needs to hold you accountable when you're not doing it. It's got to be a little bit painful, okay? A lot of times, this is a hard thing for a lot of people to do, is to be held accountable, because they don't want to experience that pain of, I didn't do what I was supposed to and I didn't get results, and so I'm going to avoid being held accountable. But a good accountability system is not only going to tell you, hey, you're doing a great job, but they're also going to tell you, hey, you need to quit jacking around and you need to get on your stuff, right? So a good accountability system will have both of those things in play. So it could be a coach, it could be a friend, it could be app, it could be a trainer, whatever it is, but make sure that it's a reliable and consistent accountability system. Okay. It's not just some dude at the gym that tells you, hey, you're doing a great job, man. Hey, I see you're improving, right? It's not just somebody like that. Okay. It's got to be somebody who that is their role. Their role is to hold you accountable, or it's got to be something that is holding you accountable. Okay. All right. So that's number 6, accountability system. Number 7 of a must-have element in a body transformation program is you must have an assessment, a reassessment, and an analysis process. That's all one thing. Okay. You need to have some kind of assessment and reassessment process. Okay. You need to get assessed right at the beginning, right when you start. You need some type of reassessment system, and you need some type of analysis process. You can even look at this as like data collection or data analysis. It needs to be consistent. You need to be able to collect data on a regular basis. Okay. On a regular and consistent basis, okay? And you need to know how to analyze that data. If you don't have this in play, if you don't have an assessment system, a reassessment system, an analysis process, data collection, and you don't have any of this in your body transformation program, okay, then any changes that you make, you're just guessing. You don't even know why you're making changes. You're probably most likely changing things because of how you think and how you feel. But if you don't have this in place, you're not going to get where you want to be. Okay. This was actually one of the 5 mistakes that I talked about that people make, is they don't take data analysis. So you must have some type of data collection, some type of assessment, reassessment process. Okay. Now, the 8th thing that you need in the 9 must-have elements of a body transformation program, okay? The 8th thing is you need an education and a continuing education process, okay? Here's the truth. The knowledge that you have right now, right this moment, okay, without you reading any more books or anything, the knowledge that you have right now is good enough for right now. It's good enough to get you maybe through the next phase, okay? But without continuing to be educated, without expanding your knowledge, okay, you won't know what to do next. Your current knowledge base right now is only going to get you to a certain point. And then at that point, you're not going to be able to improve anymore, because your knowledge base is somewhat limited, right? I've studied this. I've done this every single day for 22 years, where I have done this nonstop, and I continue to get educated. I continue to get better as the years go on. I have, 5, 6, 7, 8 clients a day that I'm doing this stuff with every single day. Okay. So I have this expansive education and continuing education process, and I know what steps people need to take. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and so on and so forth. But most people haven't studied this. Most people haven't gotten their degree in this. Most people haven't even gotten one certification, where I've gotten 50 certifications. Okay. So most people they don't even have one. Okay. So your current education is only going to get you to a certain point. And then you'll plateau, and then you'll stop. Okay. So you need an education or a continuing education process as you're going through this. You can't just say, I have enough to know. Okay. Or I know enough to be able to keep myself going. Okay. You need a continuing education process. Okay. All right. And the ninth thing of a must-have element in your body transformation program, and I will probably say this is my secret sauce. This is probably the number one reason why my clients can get incredible results. Okay. And this is probably the most underrated of all elements that I talked about. And most people don't even realize that they even need this. Okay. But the ninth element that's must have in your body transformation program is you need a modification process. Okay. Now you're probably like, what? That doesn't even make sense. You need somehow, some way to know how to modify, know how, when, how much, how often. You need to know how to modify your plan. Everybody can go online right now and calculate their macros and get their plan. Everybody can do that. Everybody can go online right now, download an app, and track your macros on what you're doing every single day. Everybody can probably take their results and determine what's happening, what isn't happening, right? Most people can do that if they do that, right? But the real secret sauce is how. How do you modify it? When do you modify it? What's your process to modify? Are you modifying just based on how you feel and how you think? Or are you modifying based on data and taking into consideration the strategy, taking into consideration the nutrition plan, the workout plan, taking into consideration somebody's habits? Okay. All of these things need to be taken into consideration when you are modifying. Okay. So if you don't have a modification process, if you don't have strict rules on how, when, how often, how much, all the different data that you need in order to modify, if you don't have strict rules for that, you're literally just making stuff up and changing it based on whatever knowledge base you have. Okay. So I promise you, every single one of my clients, every client who has ever made a transformation, every post that we have ever made with people that have seen these before and after, these before and after photos, every post, okay, every single one of them had all 9 of these things in their body transformation program. They did not do it. They did not do it just based on just having a nutrition plan and a workout plan. And I'll tell you this, most people, almost everybody that I talk to on the phone for the first time, I ask, what do you feel you need in order to get to the next step? And almost all of them, like 90% of them say, oh, if I just had the right meal plan and workout plan, that would work. And that's not true. You need these 7 other things. And if these 7 other things weren't effective, I would not waste my time and do them in my current program. Okay. So let's go ahead and review really quick the 9 must-have elements you must have for your body transformation program. Number 1 and 2, the easy ones, workout plan, nutrition plan. Okay. But the 7 other things you probably don't even know that you need: a habit plan, a mindset plan, a strategy, an accountability system, an assessment and reassessment process along with analysis, okay, a continuing education process, and a modification process. All of these 9 things are must-haves, okay? You absolutely must have it, okay? Tess says she's developed a high tolerance to avoid certain foods and that she used to eat before, okay? So that's kind of your mindset that you've kind of learned to develop. Now, the next part, I'll tell you this, so let's just look at, Tess, I'm going to comment on your mindset thing. So in the mindset, like the mindset plan that I was talking about, okay, I'm going to break it down into simple things that you can understand. You have mindsets that you need in the beginning of your journey. When you're just starting off, you need to have certain mindsets. You need to have certain mindsets at the middle of your journey, right? When you're just kind of on your roll and you're going, right? And then you need mindsets for the end, the tail end of your journey, when you're right at the end of getting to that final transformation. There's certain mindsets that you need to have there. And that's the simplest way. So Tess, your mindset right now of developing a high tolerance to avoid certain foods, that might be really good at the very beginning, right? But at some point, you are going to have to shift that mindset, and you can't keep that mindset all the time, because at some point you are going to feel like a prisoner to food. You're going to feel like, oh man, I really want this, but I have to avoid it, right? I can't stay with it. There'll be a time, and there might even be a month or 2 or 3 months or a bad phase in your life where you're not going to be able to do that. And that will actually start to create bad, make you go in the wrong direction. It will have adverse effects. So maybe this is something that's great for you at the beginning, but I promise you at some point, you are going to have to let go of that, of avoiding certain foods, because that requires a lot of willpower. That requires a lot of focus. That requires a lot of energy to always try to avoid certain things. Okay. And eventually it will wear on you. Okay. So at some point, you're going to have to learn to have it there in front of you, let it be there, right? And you choose to have it or to not have it, right? And that will be a different type of mindset, right? Where you actually are choosing, right? And you're not really even have to avoid it, right? Avoiding is you see it on the table, you walk to the other room, okay? Choosing it is you sit down at the dinner table and they put chicken, grilled chicken, but then they have a big old piece of cake. Okay. You can't avoid that. Right. So at some point in your journey, you're going to have to get to a point where you choose to have the healthy foods, right? Or you choose to not have it. And that's an elevation of your mindset. Okay. So just thanks for commenting on that, because that's a great way of showing how you progress, right? That's part of the strategy, right? That's part of having a strategy for your mindset plan, is you need to know what you need at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. Okay. And I think that's a great mindset right now to start off with, to try to avoid those foods, right? Because that will show you like, hey, when I don't eat these foods, these are the kind of results that I can get, right? But like I said, eventually we're going to have to not put so much energy and thought into avoiding certain things, because that could take you into a negative place. Okay. All right, guys. So that's going to wrap up today's training on the 9 must-have elements in a body transformation program. Again, if you have any questions for me, feel free to send me a message directly. If you are interested in the coaching program, go to iFMCoaching.online and schedule a time so we can talk, we can discuss your goals, discuss what you're trying to do. Guys, it's been great as always. I'll see you next time.